Hello, and welcome to Cunt News. I'm Timothy Cockwallet. This week we saw this cunt convicted on all counts for the murder of George Floyd. There are no jokes on this matter. This news anchor is just happy to see a cunt getting his comeuppance for being an unbelievable cunt, in spite of the all too many cunts in his cunt corner, letting this cunt be a cunt for so long due to the whole cacophony of cunts in the cunt system he was a cunt in. Sadly, there's been a number of piss-poor responses to the verdict, varying from out-of-touchness to the cackles of a madman. Nancy Pelosi and Mayor Jacob Frey showed that they are more out of touch than an agoraphobic and a chastity belt by thanking George Floyd for his sacrifice in the name of justice, a sentence I wish we had made up, but sadly, cunts got a cunt. This was relatively, on a cosmic scale I suppose, a better response than that of Tucker Carlson, who when a former corrections officer was on his show criticizing this cunt let out a laugh more unhinged than a pocket door, and then immediately dismissed the guest. One can only assume that this laugh was due to the cold steel of his cock cage rubbing against his tiny, oh so tiny it's medically fascinating, and part of me feels bad for making fun of it, but it is Tucker Carlson, so fuck it, penis. Him having put his penis in the cock cage in the hopes of saving his orgasm for a not guilty verdict. Sucks to be you, Tucker. Meanwhile, across the colloquial pond, former British Prime Minister and man banned from the deli aisle in all supermarkets, David Cameron, was in the news this week for a scandal where he tried to throw his political weight around to try and save a company he worked for from the hazards of COVID-19. This happened during a time when there is pressure on Boris Johnson, seen here doing his best impression of a cane toad with cheese strings on its head, and his government, who during the pandemic seemed to have awarded lucrative government contracts to people connected with the administration. This surprise of rich government cunts doing favors for their rich cunt friends would be shocking, if only we lived in an alternative reality where morals and ethics weren't treated the same as a severed pig head is by members of the British government. Finally, in Canadian news, we turn to Chartwell, one of Ontario's largest for-profit long-term care companies. Despite some of the highest resident death rates of any LTC provider over the past year, and a desire to deny their own frontline workers a living wage, the directors voted to give its executives millions of dollars in bonuses for a job well done on the pandemic. An internal memo found by our field reporter shows that they are secretly funded by Hades, god of the underworld, who was pleased with their work and all the incoming business they were providing him. Other documents show hopes for future expansion by business consultant GRM Reaper into morgues and funeral homes. I'm Timothy Cockwallet, and this has been Cunt News.